board he appoints who says it's all right to run over the states. The governors you appointed said it was okay, and to take over all the rural areas under the Pentagon. We have a Rural Affairs Commission. See, we don't need the Bill of Rights, Constitution, or courts anymore. We have these new things that Obama has created.
And on the quick thing on the Donner thing, I remember on the Frenzy yesterday, I remember thinking just like if somebody wanted to take out your whole family, all they'd have to do is just make a anonymous phone call to the LAPD and say that they saw Donner go in your house. And, you know, they'd come up.
It wouldn't even be news. Or they could kill people, blame it on you, have you dead in a house, burn it down 2 weeks later, and say, and again, I don't think that's what happened, but that's the problem with burning down houses with people. Is, you know, his charred body, supposedly, and they're very suspicious. And, I have 2 articles I haven't gotten to yet. Let me show these. Thank you for the call, sir. If you're a TV viewer, check these out. Radio listeners, go check them out for yourself as well. Dorner, manhunt, ex-cop may have had help. Court records show, L.A. Times. And then in the article, it says after authorities, not servants, authorities interviewed the boat captain early Thursday, they found Dorner's wallet identification cards at the San Ysidro port of entry, if I'm saying that right, near the U.S.-Mexico Ysidro. The same day, a guard at the Point Loma naval base told authorities he had spotted a man matching Dorner's description trying to sneak onto the base, according to court records. I mean, folks, you can have false alarms, but, I mean, this is like 9/11 where they found multiple passports in the rubble that day that survived it. I mean, it turned out it was made up. And, I mean, this is really bizarre. I don't want to say this wasn't staged. I mean, it looks like it was real because it puts egg on their face. It is something they want to stage. It's a PR black eye, a disaster. But at the same time, here's the other article. Dorner's wallet found in burned-out cabin with his driver's license. That's USA Today. This is getting so ridiculous. And they didn't know if he had hostages in that house, in that cabin. He'd had them at the other house he'd been at earlier in the day, a few miles away. Or was it 20 miles away? I mean, who knows? There's such lying. But they say they didn't burn it down. Yes, an accidental fire. Dorner probably started it. That's now on CNN as we predicted. I predicted they'd burn down his cabin. It was like predicting that grizzly bears have brown fur, or the moon, you know, orbits the planet, or the sun comes up in the morning. I mean, this is not hard. Okay, I said I'd go to your calls. Let's go to your calls. Mike in Tennessee, former military and police, wants to give his take on this. Mike, should we just have everybody in Southern California line up and be shot? That way the police are safe?
It looks like it's that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't say that's too far from the truth, is it?
No.
The behavior of these guys is actually becoming nationwide. As indicated to the fellow who answered the phone, I told him that I'd actually tried to work with the Miami police force. Shortly after I actually got back from, serving a little bit of time in Iraq, Afghanistan, and some of the other fun areas that our government likes to abuse. And unfortunately, in Miami, I couldn't take the behavior. It was identical to this.
Miami is famous for, like, shooting peaceful protesters with signs in the face with rubber bullets, and then the captain laughing, going, "I love how you shot that bleeping whore in the face." You know, yeah, exactly. Hey, cops, the government's going to take everything you got, too. When nobody has rights, it means nobody has them. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. And here's the thing, see, in my opinion, I don't really condone the shooting of innocent people. And at the same time, you can almost see how Dorner would be frustrated about this behavior because here in Tennessee,
but still he's warped. I mean, you go shoot somebody's daughter because there was police brutality and they fired you over it because you blew the whistle. I mean, that's not equal weights and measures is my point. I mean, you should never go after somebody's family. You should. I mean, if you're going to go after somebody, go after them.
Right, exactly. The thing is, we might be being told the wrong thing also. That might be a setup to make him look bad.
You're right. You never know. That's why there could be multiple ones. You're right. I tend to, I mean, he's a big Obama supporter and all this other stuff. And we've gone back and found records before this happened that he was a big Obama supporter and a gun grabber. So I've done a lot of research on it. I'm about 90% this is real, but surely they are trying to doll it up and do some things. What kind of stuff did you see with the Miami police force?
I literally saw the same thing, enormous amounts of racism. In fact, I've lost multiple friends who joined the. I don't want to say, they didn't die or anything, but I lost them to personality changes where they were, for example, Hispanic themselves, and they start calling, using the N-word, using whatever racist slang you could think of towards their own self. I mean, towards their own race, towards, black folks, and it was amazing. I couldn't even associate with these people. And just so you know, I'm actually a former Green Beret, so this type of behavior is extremely offensive to me. And
well, I mean, there is a gangsterism. If you look at gang handbooks and gang psychology, police more and more are behaving like a giant street gang. God bless you. I appreciate your call. It's just terrible, ladies and gentlemen. And the TV just says worship police no matter what they do. That gives cover to the bad guys in the system that are taking over. You're not helping the police putting up with bad behavior, folks. And we obsess on the police because as the police goes, so goes the nation. Okay, if the police are taken over by the globalists and turned into these crazy psychos, it's going to be a civil war. And I'm the biggest friend of the police ever because I don't want to see a bunch of you dead. I mean, if you guys are hiding out because of Dorner, you start the gun confiscation. I mean, I've done the math on it. I know history. I've studied it. The cops will stand down is what's going to happen. But if the cops tried to engage the American people, every cop in America would be killed, basically, very quickly. Very quickly. Very quickly. I mean, because there's, again, 1% stands up of gun owners. That's 1.6 million combatants. Now, you do the math. Being on the offense is so much more powerful. And if people go on the offense against the police, they're all dead, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't want to go there. That's why I keep talking about this. Let's talk to Chef Max. Chef Max is in Texas. Tell us the story of what happened to you.
Well, let me tell you, brother, I was at work just now on my day off for a manager meeting, and right in the middle of the meeting, get a knock on the door. Concierge walks up and goes, "Hey, there's two gentlemen here from the FBI I'd like to speak to you." Walk outside, and two business-dressed gentlemen, one introduced as a FBI agent, one as Homeland Security, asked me to sit down and talk for a few minutes. Sure. Walked over to couches, sat down, asked me, well, do you have any reason, any inkling why we're talking to you today? Said, hey, well, I'm kind of outspoken, and,
So what did they say to you? What happened?
Well, I told them that I voice my opinion quite often, and they go, well, we're here to talk to you about a young lady that used to work here, TSA agent, and she brought some things to our attention that you were asking her, etc. And I said, well, that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, yeah, this is part of the political intimidation. If you just say you think the government's out of control, they'll send the government now to make you feel like you're bad, to intimidate you. It's a whisper campaign. So you work at the airport?
No, actually, I'm at one of the theaters in Domain. We met a couple of times. I was there when you bought your Barrett over at the gun shop, and then you came and saw that Dinesh D'Souza movie with your wife and one of the Steiner boys. Oh yeah,
you're the chef over there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. So okay, yeah, all right. You've got the infrared that we might borrow to go shoot wild hogs.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So I got to hear this. So somebody that works with the TSA, a little secret police officer, they're now all over the streets. Went. Okay, I got to hear this. So please continue.
Okay, she worked for us part-time as a waitress, but at the same time she worked at the airport as a TSA screener. And at work, at plenty of downtime, we're always talking about politics and current events and et cetera. And
sure, I've sat around with you talking. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So the conversation came up, this is 6 months ago, about the radiation level at the TSA, the screeners. And I told her, go question your supervisors. How much radiation am I getting? How much am I,
And so for that, you got to visit, and I was brought up. We're going to come back. Well, stay there. I got to come back. I mean, I know this guy. When I first heard this, I didn't believe it. I went and looked at the federal funding purchase.